Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and I'm once again joined by a man who doesn't want to team up with me anymore. Mike. Say hello, Mike.
You're never gonna get over that, are you?
You are the Roman Reigns to my Cody Rhodes, I suppose.
Man, I just can't believe that was the genuine reaction of one of the most successful main event players on SmackDown was basically just rage quitting. Jeez,
Is he even on SmackDown? Like lately, he's just been on Raw and just saying
I
"fuck
don't know.
SmackDown." I guess.
I think he still has him applied to SmackDown, but I guess he's a Raw guy now. I don't know, bro. It's they need to get back on this brand split too.
Yeah. Well, we had our, I suppose you could say, Fallout show from War Games on the Raw side, and now we're heading into SmackDown. Oh boy, what does Road Dogg have in store for us this Friday? Will we get another Jade Cargill promo slash match that takes 2 minutes? Will we get another Damian Priest Aleister Black segment that people kind of care about, but not really? What will we get this week? Boy, oh boy. Boy, do we wonder. But on this show, we're going to try to predict, get into Road Dogg's mind a little bit, and see what we think he probably has in store for us. And we're going to do it using these rules, I suppose. And yeah, first rule, as Mike said, not applicable because WWE doesn't do it. But hopefully they get on their good side and give us an actual brand split this time. But you never know. Once they get on that, we will reinstate that first rule and we'll get on with that. And in case you are kind of living under a rock and you don't know what the show is about, well, after we sort of tell you what we think will happen on the next episode of SmackDown, we will watch the actual next episode of SmackDown, and then we will score what we think is going to happen based on the scores system. Wow, I almost got lost on the train of thought for a second. I guess that's what happens when you get under Road Dogg Psyche. But this is the scoring system, and then we will tell you what we get or got, I should say, on the next episode of this show. So, let's get into our scores. I had a miserable week last week. I only had 4.5 points, which is disgusting. But, yeah, I only had the MFT winning, an LA Knight, and I only got a Chelsea Green and Asuka appearance. But other than that, terrible week for me this week. Hopefully it gets better, but knowing Road Dogg, he is a bit of a wild card, so we'll see. We'll see. What about you, Mike?
I got LA Knight winning, I got Jey Uso winning, I got Chelsea Green appearing, I had Asuka appearing, and that was about it. I got most of my points from the Chelsea Green promo because we had the Secret Hervis also show. I think the Secret Hervis anymore because Piper Niven isn't there, so it's just Alba Fire. But
I don't know. Ask Road Dogg, I guess. Did he forget? Did he forget that Piper Niven exists? I don't know. But we'll see, I guess. Alright, well, let's see what we get. But first, before we even get to what we are gonna get on the next episode, well, gonna have to do this whole booking shenanigans and do all that. So let's get into what is announced. We got Cody Rhodes, and that's it, I think. Oh, and LA Knight versus Gunther. I forgot to put that in there. So, without further ado, let's book this thing. Go to my version of the show first, as Cody Rhodes walks out to the ring. Cody talks about, well, his defeat at War Games. And he says that, he fought the good fight with all his friends, with the exception of Roman Reigns, probably. And he says that, we lost War Games, and you know what? I kind of blame it all on one man only. And that man is Roman Reigns. He questions why Roman would even want to be on his team. And he says it is his fight. He is fighting it with the Usos. He is fighting it with them against Division. And he is fighting it with his friend, CM Punk, against Division. Why does Roman need to stick his nose into my business? He is then interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who kind of relishes in, Cody kind of crashing out. And he says that, I kind of want you this way, Cody, because I want you at your best in order to face me for your title. He was owed, or I should say, I was owed, because, I'm speaking in Drew McIntyre sense. Drew says that he wants the title that he was owed. Now back to third person, I guess. He was owed the title a long time ago, and you know what? His time is now, and Cody's time is up. And he challenges Cody to a match at Saturday night's main event for Cody's title. Cody is then attacked by Roman Reigns from the back, and I'm gonna have Drew McIntyre gonna speak from the stage. And yeah, basically, Cody is attacked by Roman, who tells Cody that he also wants the title. He stares at McIntyre and then leaves. And then we're going to have some backstage segments where Roman is asked why he attacks Cody, and Roman is kind of a little mysterious, he's kind of like, I'm not going to answer that question. You figure it out for yourself, buddy. So he just answers it with a smile, with a bit of a nod, I guess. He goes a little bit mysterious. And so that leads to Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, the episode after this, with Drew going over as Roman is bamboozled by Cody, which will lead to Drew versus Cody at Saturday night's main event, where Drew wins the title. Cody can feud with Roman for the rest of the month and figure this whole thing out. And Drew can live his life as the champion and have a bunch of baby faces going after him. So yeah, there you go. We'll move on to Ilya Dragunov as he faces off against Tommaso Ciampa. And this happens basically because it's been building up to this moment. And yeah, it's this moment. I think it is time to have these two go at it. And we're going to have Ilya win by pinfall once again. After the match, Ilya is attacked by Tama Tonga and the MFTs, which will lead to a match next week at Saturday night's main event for the US Championship between Tama Tonga and Ilya Dragunov. And maybe Tama Tonga can earn it. And we're going to have Solo probably cut a promo saying, we got one title, a couple more left, I guess. So yeah, that is the first step, I guess, on the road to dominance for the MFTs. And yeah, we'll move on to Jade Cargill versus Michin. This happens because, Jade Cargill beat B-Fab, and now Michin has come to B-Fab's rescue. And yeah, that's why we have this match, because Michin and B-Fab are friends, and Jade Cargill doesn't like friends, so I guess we have that. Jade Cargill, I don't know, this is probably going to be a quick match, because I know how Road Dogg loves Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill wins quickly via pinfall. It's going to be like a 2-3 minute match or something. After the match, we have B-Fab checking on Michin and Alba Fire. We have B-Fab checking on Michin, and then we have Alba Fire attack Jade from the back with support from Chelsea Green. This leads to a triple threat match for the Women's Championship at either the Go Home Show or Saturday night's main event next week. where we have Jade go over despite an attempted distraction by Chelsea Green. Yes, I will still have Jade Cargill go on top, even after all these forces are going against her, because she is that B. Moving on to Wyatt 6 versus the MFTs for the Tag Team Championships. And I'm going to have the MFTs win by pinfall. Yes, I'm going to have the MFTs secure the Tag Team Championships. In fact, because I think in order to solve the dilemma of the Tag Team division, we need to move the Wyatt 6 over to Raw and establish their dominance there. I think they would work better there, along with the New Day, the War Raiders, the Judgment Day, stuff like that. I think they would work better with those teams instead of SmackDown's teams, where they're more focused on, work rate and, physicality. And the teams over on Raw rely more on the gimmick side of things. So I think they're going to be moved to Raw and establish their dominance in that tag team division, however shallow it is. MFTs can remain as champions on SmackDown and just work out of that division, and they have a lot to work with. They got Motor City Machine Guns, they got DIY, they got, Los Garza, I guess, if they count. They got, well, not Pretty Deadly, but they have a solid sort of tag team division that they can work off with and just solidify themselves as a dominant sort of team. But yeah, we'll move on from that to Zelina Vega. She takes on Rhea Ripley because backstage last episode we had a promo segment from the back between Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. And, Rhea wants to talk to Damian Priest. And I think that the issue that Damian Priest has is the Aleister Black problem. Aleister Black has Zelina Vega. And Damian Priest doesn't have a female companion. So why don't we run that back? Run that partnership back. And have Rhea Ripley help out Damian Priest with this match. And I'm going to have Rhea Ripley win, obviously, by pinfall. After the match, Damian Priest comes in to congratulate her, but she is attacked by Aleister Black, which will set up... before even that, we have Zelina come back to attack Rhea, and then we have Zelina and Aleister being on top. This sets up the mixed tag team match, either at Saturday Night's Main Event or the go-home show, between Aleister and Zelina, and they take on Rhea and Damian. And we have Aleister and Zelina go over in that match, because 50-50 booking, I guess. And we're going to move on to the main event, which is LA Knight versus Gunther in the finals for the Last Time Is Now tournament. I am sorry, LA Knight. I may have doubted you in the semifinals. I may have doubted you in the quarterfinals, but I really do not think that you are winning this one. I think Gunther is winning this one by pinfall. And after the match, he says some stuff to the cameraman about beating John Cena. As the show goes off the air, of course, he will have his promo on Monday to talk about it, but, he just says some stuff to the cameraman without any mics at all. And yeah, Gunther wins. We have Gunther versus John Cena, where John Cena will probably lose again. I don't know. And then he'll have his 2-minute speech before he gets cut off by ESPN this time, instead of Peacock. Any questions?
So, I'm not going to accuse you of fantasy booking, but why do you think that they have the foresight to move the MFTs to Raw? Considering they haven't done anything for the past 4 weeks.
Are you talking about Wyatt 6?
Sorry, yes, Wyatt 6, my bad. Yeah.
Good question. I mean, they haven't really done much with the Wyatt 6 ever since winning the tag team championships. It's kind of been at a standstill, because what they did is they kind of put them against every single other tag team, just one by one, very quickly. like next week they'll be taking on the tag team, and then the week after that they'll be taking on another tag team. And then they ran out of challengers, and it's like, okay, well, who do they face then? And it's just like, well, I don't know. Let's just put them in a limbo. And
So do you think
yeah.
they unify the titles at any point, given how weak the Raw tag team roster is and how strong but stale the SmackDown roster is? Like, it feels to me that a unification is coming at some point, just given how lopsided the tag team divisions feel right now. That or a draft.
Um. Well, first of all, I think a draft is needed. I think the tag team divisions on both shows just need a little bit of a boost. Raw more so than SmackDown, but I don't think they are ever going to do a unification match. Maybe next year at WrestleMania, but I don't think that they will. I don't think that they will unify the titles. Just merely based off of the fact that I think that the women's tag team championships are kind of floating in between different shows, and they'd rather have one set of titles playing that role instead of just having more titles to sort of drift, because it adds more to having to book for those shows, at least in my opinion. So I think they're not going to do it. I think they'll just keep the division separate for now. Maybe at WrestleMania they'll do it in a unification match, but I don't know, man. I honestly I think unifying them is a good idea. Like, I they should have done that long ago, but they didn't. I don't think they'll do it though. And being in their shoes, I think that they'd rather have the women's tag team championships play that role instead of just, two titles kind of floating around both shows.
If LA Knight wins, I will personally try to get real American beer shipped to my house.
Really?
I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he will, but if he does, I will do that, and I will try it. I will try it on the show. I will try it.
Is this the push that you've been looking for?
So I didn't believe it the first two rounds because he faced jobbers. Well, he faced fucking Zack Ryder and then The Miz. And then I was like, yeah, okay, of course he's losing to the Yeet Man. And then he fucking won. And I was like, well, maybe? Like, I'm not flinching, but I don't know.
I'd like to think Triple H was like writing the show, and then he writes who did he face to win? Was it Solo?
No, he faced Jay. He faced the Yeet
Jay.
Man.
He faced Jay. Sorry, he was writing Jay Uso wins, and then he was like, I wonder what ChatGPT thinks. And then he goes on ChatGPT, and he goes, suggest me an ending for this match. And ChatGPT just goes, LA Knight wins. And he goes, whoa, sounds like a great idea. And he just scratches
piece
it.
Of business.
That's a good old piece of business. Yeah. That's how we got here. And hopefully ChatGPT can save us and have LA Knight win. But I just think Gunther is... I mean, they didn't change his theme song for nothing, man. Like
I never knew that was his theme song, and I heard it. I actually paid attention to it for the first time like 2 nights ago, and I was like, that theme song has aura. Holy shit. It fits him so well as like this ruthless, like stone cold killer vibe that he has. There's so much aura to it. Like compared to his last theme song, like god damn.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's a lot of wrestling theme songs are better before Def Rebel, did their thing. So I'm glad that Gunther got his theme back. That is great. I think it suits his character very well. And yeah, it's great. And as I said, they didn't change his theme song for nothing. I mean, they changed their theme song, or they changed his theme song rather. So he wins the tournament and takes on John Cena. and have that John Cena versus final boss kind of vibe to that. And I think, yeah, I think that suits it very well, for sure. Any other questions before we move on to your card?
Nope, I'm ready for my card.
All right, let's move on to your card, starting off with
a Cody Rhodes promo. Cody comes out and he is interrupted by he explains what happened at War Games, and he is interrupted by one Roman Reigns. Roman aura farms for about 5 minutes before walking down to the ring. Roman again reiterates that he's never teaming up with Cody again because Cody broke his PS2 controller, and now he has to go by anyone. So Cody says, well, listen, Roman basically says he wants his title back. He's coming back for his title. And Cody, being Cody, he tears off the jacket. He takes off his tie, throws it into the audience, gets ready. He's ready to fight like he usually does, fucking wasting his $40 suit yet again. And Roman declines, takes about 5 minutes to do so because it can only move about 2 miles per hour. He is then, they are both then interrupted by the Vision, who show up on the stage, spearheaded by Drew McIntyre. Drew says, listen, bucko, you gotta wait in line. I am first in line. You already had your shot and you lost the last year of WrestleMania, or 2 years ago at WrestleMania. Was it last year? 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last year he lost to Cena. Thanks to one Travis Scott.
Yeah. Fiend.
You see how quickly they dropped that theme song too from Raw? It's gone now. It's gone. Yeah. So I think this eventually leads to maybe Drew McIntyre versus Cody at Saturday night's main event, or at whatever the next pay-per-view is. Is that the Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the Rumble, I would say. Maybe that leads to Drew versus Cody at the Rumble.
In Saudi Arabia, no less.
Quick take. What geriatric wrestler do you think they bring back for the Saudi show?
Oh boy. There's a lot of choices. You
could have X-Pac. I know X-Pac showed up on JCW. I don't watch JCW. Okay, I don't. The only reason I know that he showed up was because I was watching I think I was watching a Mark ED episode about it, and I saw X-Pac show up once. It was 2 years ago, and I was like, oh shit. I didn't know he was still doing stuff. So maybe X-Pac, possibly. But I don't know who else would be game.
But you know who's writing it, bro? Me, bro. Vince Russo. I'm writing the Juggalo Wrestling Championship. Juggalo on a pole match, bro. Every week.
Juggalo on a pole match, bro.
Ratings through the roof, bro. To answer your question, I think that Saudi Arabia would probably want to bring back, because I think Saudi Arabia is kind of like that. They kind of have this mentality where we want to have a big name that was big in the past and was influential to the business. It would be kind of gutsy if Saudi wants Bret Hart to come back. Imagine if they just we want Bret Hart to show up, and Triple H is just oh shit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think Bret Hart is ever gonna come back because he just hates everyone. But yeah, I don't know who else would be. I would have thought that would have been a perfect time for Goldberg, but I think it was right by him that they put him his last match in Georgia. So.
Oh, fun fact.
Anyway.
Did you know that Goldberg did a rant about how much his final match sucked? After like the day after his final match, he went on like a show and was like, "Yeah, that match, I should have won. You know, it could have gone better for me. All that stuff. Like he's well, I wouldn't say whining, but he's complaining about how his final match went, and he felt like could have been better. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, all
I
right,
thought it
sure,
was
I
kind of
guess.
but you are like old as fuck, and also I feel like it would have been better if it wasn't a big guy like Gunther, because obviously Goldberg isn't as strong as he used to be. So if it was a smaller guy who was lighter and Goldberg could lift him easier, I would say that would have been better for him. Because like getting Gunther up for a jackhammer is probably like not easy.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely no. It was not. That takes a significant amount of strength training for that to be pulled off. But yeah, no, I think there are dozens of names. Well, there's a lot of names that the Saudi Arabians can pull up. Maybe Chris Jericho, maybe oh, I don't know. Like yeah, like some big name out there. Maybe they'll try to bring
it's a
Yokozuna.
big show.
Oh, Big Show. Nah, Big Show is in AEW. Sorry, he can't do that. He's working with Big Boom AJ.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
nice.
so yeah,
Good for him.
yeah, yeah.
All
Like,
right.
did you see the? Well, there was a spot in one of the Big Boom AJ matches where one of the wrestlers like pushes Big Justice, either him or the Rizzler. I don't know, but the Rizzler had a spot, and fucking the as soon as the Rizzler got like shoved to the side by a wrestler, fucking Big Show just like stands up and was like, "Yo, you do not punch my fucking guy like that, you piece of shit." He's just like he just goes up to the guy and just stares at him, and the guy like backs off. And I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, no, it's always fun. It's always fun when he works with Big Boom AJ. It's always fun. Love it. Anyway, we have strayed far away from this now. This is, I will say, Big Boom AJ is more exciting than all of SmackDown, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But we'll move on now to.
We have. Sorry, I was looking up the spot. Wow, the Rizzler has his own entrance.
Oh,
Crazy. I'll watch
yeah,
that
yeah,
after
he
the
has,
show.
yes.
U.S. title open U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa. I think Dragunov wins this one. This has been building for a few weeks. I mean, I could see Ciampa winning this one, but I think Ilya is very over, and they're going to keep him going for a while. I think they may revisit this at some point because Tommaso does have that potential to be a U.S. champion. We haven't really seen him outside of singles or tag team action, in singles action all too much. So, yeah, but I think Ilya wins this one very handedly.
Cool. Do you think? Well, they've been teasing the Tama Tonga thing. Do you think Tama Tonga plays a role here in this match, or do you think that Tama Tonga, excuse me, is next after this whole fiasco?
Possibly.
With Tommaso Ciampa?
Possibly. I think they might try to go back to Solo. Possibly.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of Solo, I think he is next. Correct?
He is, yeah. Speaking of the U.S. title, Solo comes out with the NFTs. Solo comes on about his win at Survivor Series. He also says, yeah, he lost to Gunther, but who gives a fuck about that geriatric old guy named John Cena? You know, the his time is now, and it's the time for the NFTs to run this show.
Yeah.
And Solo says he only cares about getting back his U.S. title and getting the tag team titles for his MFTs. The Wyatt Six confront the MFTs again. There's a brief scuffle, and then they disappear when the lights go off again. I think this probably sets the course for Solo and Tama Tonga to go after the U.S. title, and then maybe the MFTs like Tala Tonga and JC Mateo to go after maybe like the tag team titles, or some combination. The MFTs are going to go after the tag team titles. So
Yeah. And Tongaloa can just, I don't know, botch a lot or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I gotta say this. I liked Solo's character when he was like a goofy heel when he only had JC Mateo and Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Like that was peak. He was hilarious. I loved him when he was that guy. He needs to go back to that. He actually has some good comedic characters to him.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. I think when someone else tries to be funny, he kind of breaks easily, which kind
That's
of
true.
adds to the charm, I suppose. But yeah, you know what we're saying. They need aura. They need aura, man, because this group got no character. They're
It's
so
the bloodline from Temu. It's the Temu bloodline.
yeah. Inject some life into it, man. Come on. But yeah, I do agree. We'll move on from this band of fanatics, I suppose, to
Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill comes out for a bit longer than she has been recently. She's only been given about 30 seconds worth of airtime because apparently Road Dogg doesn't like to give too much airtime to his women's champions. So, but she's interrupted by Michin, and Jade is infuriated that she has to spend more than 30 seconds in the ring with a microphone. So, because of this, Michin comes out. Michin said last week that someone needs to step up to Jade Cargill. Well, Michin comes out, challenges her to a fight, and this happens next.
all right. Let's get to that match now.
It is Jade Cargill versus Michin. I think Jade Cargill wins this one very easily. She gets fed yet another jobber, and she continues to be the women's champion. And she continues to say that she is that B.
Yeah. What do you think? So Chelsea Green has had interactions with Jade Cargill. Like, what do you think that's about?
I think it's to really just position Jade as like she's more of a tweener right now. I think, like, just sort of a very serious champion. Like she is that B is what it was about. I don't think there's much to it. I think it's just her, establishing herself as the top dog, sort of.
Okay. So you don't think it'll lead to any sort of champion versus champion fight or something, or you think it's just like
no
bragging rights? I guess, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, who do you? Well, I may have already asked the question, but who do you think is next after Jade? Do you think Bianca comes back next year?
I think Bianca probably comes back during the Rumble, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think they'll give it to Jade then? Or, sorry, do you think they'll give it to Bianca then?
Probably not. I think they want to let Jade hold it for a while. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give it to Bianca right away because I think Jade needs to hold it for a little bit. I mean, it depends on how she goes because right now she has the same amount of fucking aura that Tiffany had, whereas she's incredibly one-dimensional when it comes to being a champion. Whereas she comes out for 90 seconds, says she's a bitch, and then leaves.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I do think Jade works better as a heel than a face. And I do think that as a heel, I guess she is a little better than Tiffany in terms of character work, but I don't know. I think as a champion, Jade has been in that same. I will agree, the same road as Tiffany, just kind of bland. But I guess that's what happens when your women's division on SmackDown sucks, and you have people like B-Fab and Michin to go off of in terms of competitors for your championship. But whatever. Hopefully, a draft fixes this, among other things. But from that, we'll move on to the main event.
Main event is the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament, and it is LA Knight versus Gunther. I also think that Gunther wins this one. I think it's very obvious that they want Gunther to be the guy to retire John Cena, and he becomes a pseudo legend killer. And I think they're going to set him up for a fight with Randy Orton, where it's like legend killer versus legend killer. And that'll be a good one at WrestleMania. I think that's their plan. LA Knight, I would love for him to win, because then he would ascend above being the Golden Jobber and attain some sort of prestige. It isn't the title, but it's about as close as he can get.
Yep. Yeah.
And being a jobber is to fight John Cena. But I actually think, though, that LA Knight loses because of Jey Uso interfering and costing him the match. If you remember last week, Jey Uso had a bit of a crash out after he lost the match. He flipped over the Prime cart and the stairs, and then just kind of walked off in a huff. And I think that was them teasing him turning heel. I mean, bro just kind of tipped over the Prime card. I guess that's a heel action, sure.
Fuck Prime.
Yeah. They spent like 10 minutes on him around the ring, and I was like, is he gonna do anything? And then he tipped over the cart, and I was like, that's it?
He was just
anything else.
He was just gassed.
Doing anything else at all. So I think he turns heel fully here, costs LA Knight the match, and that is be his first feud as a heel is with LA Knight. Yes.
I don't know how I feel about an LA Knight versus Jey Uso feud. Like that seems to me like, I don't know, man. I mean, on the one hand, Jey Uso, I think he's still liked by people, but you know, you could turn him heel, maybe kind of project some edgier, kind of more evil things, I guess, into his character. But at the same time, I don't know how you're helping LA Knight when he is feuding with Jey Uso. You know what I mean? Like, I think LA Knight should be positioned towards another sort of mid-card title instead of just feuding with Jey Uso. Unless their objective is to get LA Knight over, which I don't think they will. I think they're gonna try to get Jey Uso over as a heel. So, I don't know. I don't know how I think about a Jey Uso and LA Knight feud, but if they are going that route, I just, again, this is LA Knight being a golden jobber. Like he just doesn't get a break. He doesn't get a break from jobbing to anyone. It's just a shame. But I don't know, do you agree? Do you disagree with that statement, I guess? Or do you think that this could be the feud where they push LA Knight finally and get him over Jey Uso?
Maybe. Like, I think this might lead to LA Knight getting another title shot, and then Jey Uso probably goes on to feud with like Cody Rhodes, or maybe Jimmy Uso again, possibly. But
oh god,
I can't see that far. I can't see that far. All I know is that I think Jey Uso turns heel, and he feuds with LA Knight going into the Royal Rumble, possibly. So
all right, all right. Well, we'll see if that happens, among other things that are discussed, because, well, that's it. That's all we got. And so, as I stated earlier, we're going to watch the next episode of SmackDown as it comes out, and then we will score our predictions and bookings, and we will come back here on the next episode of the show to give you what we get and we do the whole booking and prediction thing all over again. So, until then, thank you for ordering a blue cheese pizza called Probably Next Week on Smackdown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.